Good afternoon, Storytime viewers, families, and friends. It's Frances, live from the Umlauf Sculpture Garden and Museum. Well, actually not from the garden, but guess what? We can welcome you to the garden now. And as of last week, we are open and we would love to welcome you. But if you are inside today, because it is another warm day, hot day in Austin, let's start off with a story and then plan your visit. Maybe over the weekend, maybe early next week, but we would love to see you. Until then, let's read The Day You Begin. And I chose this book because a lot of us are beginning again with our schoolwork, whether or not we are able to be together in our classrooms. We are virtually coming together and we are beginning again a new school year or a new semester for those who are leaving their families and going off to different colleges or universities. And maybe you're just beginning a new job. I'm actually visiting my son as he begins his new job as a teacher. So this is also in honor of all of the teachers and all the students. The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson. Wonderful, wonderful writer. She has written so many books. She's written picture books, middle grade books, and adult books. Has a new book coming out actually this next month. But this one is Jacqueline's book with illustrations by Rafael Lopez. And we thank Nancy Paulsen Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House, for allowing us to read today. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you. And here is our young heroine, our young person peeking into a classroom. Maybe it will be your skin, your clothes, or the curl of your hair. And you notice that none of these children looks exactly alike. There will be times when no one understands the way words curl from your mouth, the beautiful language of the country you left behind. My name is Rigoberto. We just moved here from Venezuela. And because they don't understand, the classroom will fill with laughter until the teacher quiets everyone. This is Rigoberto. And when he closes his eyes, he's back in Venezuela. But then, here he is, a little more anxious. Rigoberto from Venezuela. Your teacher says so soft and beautifully that your name and homeland sound like flowers blooming the first bright notes of a song. And here he is, Rigoberto, channeling memories of Venezuela, but marrying that with a teacher who understands and allows him to express himself. This book is about sharing your story. There will be times when the words don't come. Your own voice, once huge, now smaller, when the teacher asks, "What did you do last summer?" Tell the class your story. We went to France, Chayla says. These shells came from a beach in Maine. A boy named Jonathan holds out a jar filled with tiny shells so fragile they look like they'll turn to dust in your own untraveled hands. My whole family went to India, Spain, South Carolina. Each souvenir a small triumph of a journey. Their travels going on and on. I bet a lot of us remember what show and tell feels like. When you get to share, and then when you listen to others sharing, and maybe you're feeling something different than what they're feeling as they share. And as you stand in front of that room, you can only remember how the heat waved as it lifted off the curb, and your days spent at home caring for your little sister, who made you laugh out loud and hugged you hard at nap time. You can only remember the books you kept on reading long after she had fallen to sleep. And in that room where no one else is quite like you, you'll look down at your own empty hands and wonder, what good is this when other students were flying and sailing and going somewhere? We can all, if we're in Austin, Texas listening, think about how the heat has been waving and how we may have been forced to stay at home indoors for many reasons. There will be times when the lunch your mother packed for you is too strange or too unfamiliar for others to love as you do. Here's a young person hugging her lunch box, wondering what the others think about what she's brought to eat. When even your own friend Nadja will wrinkle her nose and say, "What's in there anyway?" And you'll wonder how she doesn't see the rice beneath the meat and kimchi. You'll wonder why she doesn't remember that rice is the most popular food in the world. And there's Nadja, sort of wondering, what's going on in that lunchbox? It looks different from mine. These are wonderful illustrations, by the way. The table has details of a ruler. So clever. This illustrator has actually, Rafael Lopez has actually designed 7 postage stamps. I thought that was a fun fact. There will be times when the climbing bars are too high, the run is too fast and far, the game isn't one you can ever really play. I don't want him on our team. You can watch. Maybe you can have a turn later. Here are some children playing, running off the page. But here's another friend. Maybe he was reading by the tree and wondering, how could I play that game with them? There will be times when the world feels like a place that you're standing all the way outside of. And all that stands beside you is your own brave self, steady as steel and ready, even though you don't yet know what you're ready for. And there we go. There will be times, I like that. It's acknowledgement. There are going to be times where you're not feeling 100%. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you until the day you begin to share your stories. My name is Angelina, and I spent my whole summer with my little sister, you tell the class, your voice stronger than it was a minute ago, reading books and telling stories, and even though we were right on our block, it was like we got to go everywhere. Remember, the power of reading can take you outside your own walls, your own home, your own neighborhood. There's Angelina and her baby sister. That's what she did this summer. Your name is like my sister's, Rigoberto says. Her name is Angelina too. And all at once, in the room where no one else is quite like you, the world opens itself up a little wider to make some space for you. So we're back to where Angelina was feeling insecure, anxious about speaking, and then she and Rigoberto made a connection. This is the day you begin to find the places inside your laughter and your lunches, your books, your travel, and your stories, where every new friend has something a little like you and something else so fabulously not quite like you at all. Like that, so fabulously not like you. It's fabulous to have something you share, and fabulous not to share it and to learn about another person's life and their story. And here we are. Thanks for joining me and listening later. If you did not tune in live, no big deal. I hope to see many of you live in the gardens in the coming semester this fall. We are offering our public tours again on the third Saturday of every month. And then we also will be offering small group homeschool groups of people who are educating together. We call them pods, I guess. Go on our website and check out how we can make the Umlauf Sculpture Garden part of your fall semester. Cheers and thanks. Stay safe, and our hearts go to all those on the Gulf Coast.